Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dave and today I'm going to get out my Chinese made mini digger and get it prepared to take it on a road trip. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video what I want to do is work out how I can take my Chinese mini digger here and get it into my trailer so I can transport it. And we'll come back to the trailer and the specifications of this in a minute. But why do I need to transport it? Well, when I first bought this mini excavator, and it's a UHI branded machine, Chinese made, 1.2 ton, and when I bought it I really never thought that I would have to move it away from the farm. However, I've got a mate down in Victoria, Marty, who you've seen on the channel before, and we were talking about catching up for a visit, and I said I'd come down to see him, and he mentioned, well, why don't you bring your mini digger with you? Now, it might seem a bit strange that you would actually want to put this in a trailer and drag it 1,000 kilometers down to Victoria, but in the end of the day, we thought, well, if we were going to hire one down there for $200 a day, if we're there for 4 or 5 days, it's going to cost $1,000. Why not just pay a bit extra for the diesel in the tow vehicle there and put it in the trailer and take it down and use it? At least it's a machine I sort of know how to use. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work out how to actually put this little mini digger into the trailer and look at a couple of options for tying it down, because we do have to transport it 1,000 kilometers, which is a fair way, and just want to make sure it's going to be nice and safe. Okay then, well, firstly let's crunch some numbers and look at some weights. So this is a 1.2 ton machine, and all of these mini diggers are actually sold as in an operating weight, which includes the weight of the excavator and the weight of the operator. And normally I think they allow about 70 to 90 kilograms for the weight of the operator. So it doesn't actually say it on the plaque here. It still says it's a 1.2 ton machine, but the actual weight of this machine is, say, about 1,130 kilograms, 1,130 kilos. Now the trailer I've got here, I'll just briefly talk about this. I bought this, I've had it for about 4 years. Again, it's another Chinese product. It was a Chinese made, or is a Chinese made trailer. It's a galvanized steel trailer, and I bought this in 2021. It's now 2025, so it's going on 4 years old. You can see that the galvanizing is still held up quite well. There's a couple of little patches where it's worn through and it's starting to have a little bit of surface rust, but really it's still very, very good condition. I'm quite happy with it. The brand of this trailer is called a Bonanza, and they're quite widely spread here in Australia. I bought this from the Newcastle branch in 2021. I think it was like $4,000 or 4,200 Australian dollars, something like that. Bonanza trailers, and I opted to buy this particular model because in the back of my mind I did think that maybe one day I may have to move my mini digger, and I wanted to get something that I thought was going to be big enough to move it. Now this trailer is rated at 2,000 kilograms ATM, which is aggregate trailer mass, which means that's the maximum weight of the trailer, and anything that goes in the trailer is 2,000 kilograms. So we've already worked out that this is 1,130 kilos. The trailer itself, according to the little manufacturer's plate down here, which is on all the trailers, looking at this down here, it actually says that this trailer weighs 620 kilograms empty, just by itself, just the trailer, the axles, wheels, spare wheel, things like that on it. Now if I do a calculation on that, it means that if I take 620 kilos away from 2,000 kilos, I can put on probably about 1,380 kilograms of weight as a safe load onto this trailer. So my little mini excavator at 1,130 should be fine. Having thought about that, the other things I have to add is extra attachments that I may take down as well. I'll probably take a couple of buckets, a stick rake. I may take the auger drive. I can fit some of the things in the back of my tow vehicle here, but some of the stuff will actually go in the trailer, so I just have to account for the extra weight going in there as well. I'm just looking side on now to see the best way to try and get this into the trailer, and it's certainly long enough. The trailer itself is 3 meters in length on the floor, so that's just over 10 feet. So I've got a heap of room, I can fit it in, but I'm just looking that if I went in as it's facing now and I had the stick just near the front, then I would have a little bit of room at the back here. You can see there. I don't think this is going to work, because also I've got to consider the center of gravity on my machine. So where is most of the weight on one of these mini diggers? The engine and everything sits in the back. Obviously there is weight at the front with the boom and the stick and the bucket on the front there. So I'm not too sure. I think most of the weight's going to be in the back where the engine is. So at the minute I'm a bit concerned that if it was facing this way and I loaded it facing forwards, that the center of gravity would be in the wrong position for the trailer, because I've got to try and remember that most of the weight has to go in front of the center line of where the two axles are here. Now I don't know, I mean, I've made the mistake in the past of having one of these trailers and putting a whole heap of soil or something just in the back, so you've got like a ton of weight or something just in the back here, because it's easier to get it out than it is to shovel it all the way from the front. But in doing that you can end up with a major problem of instability on the trailer, and as you're going down the road you can start to get this like fishtail effect, because the mass is behind the center of the trailer. Now I think if I put my mini digger in here, if this is the engine here, it's behind the center line of the axle on the trailer, so I don't think that's going to work. I think to transport this safely I'm actually going to have to spin it around the other direction and have the machine actually facing backwards. Now a really good feature of this Chinese made trailer is on the back where the number plate is here, the actual light for the number plate is built into the side, so I can actually take this whole rear tailgate off. If I can balance it up here a bit so it swings down, and then we'll just come off. If I can do it one-handed. Okay, so that whole tailgate comes off. I'll just put this over here for a minute, and that's a lot lower now to be able to get my digger in. So I'm going to need some ramps, and I have bought some ramps, and I'll go over and try and find those. Now I did buy a set of aluminium ramps, and they're just tucked in here with all this other rubbish sitting on top of it, so I've got to move all this stuff out of the way and dig the ramps out. I did buy these ramps quite a long time ago. I haven't really used them for much. They've just been sitting here, but I'll dig them out. We'll get them near the trailer, and then I'll talk about how much they cost and why I bought them. I'll just go over now the ramps that I have to use, and I've never actually put the mini excavator onto this trailer with these ramps. I've used the ramps for other vehicles and machinery and stuff, but I've never actually put the excavator on there, so I've got to just take a few measurements of the width of the tracks, so forth, and just make sure that I get these in the right position on my trailer. Now I bought these ramps about 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't used them a lot, and when I was looking for ramps, the things that you start to find are that they're hugely expensive. If anybody's bought machinery ramps, these are all aluminium. They're Australian made. They're made up in Brisbane, and they were made by a company called Ramped Up. And if I can find the page the web page. I'll put it up on the screen so you can have a look at it. When I bought them, I think I paid like $770 for the pair, I think, and it's probably over $800 now if you were to buy them. The ones I bought were rated for each ramp. I don't know if you can read it there. It says 1250 kilograms per ramp, which means that I can load something that would be up to 2,500 kilos or 2.5 ton on this. Now my little machine here is only 1130, say, so these ramps will be fine. I mean, I could use, you know, if I didn't want to buy ramps, I suppose I could just use railway sleepers or something, would be fine. But the benefit of these is that it's got this tread on the ramps, and that's one reason why I bought these particular ones, that it's got all these notches in the ramp to give you the extra traction. And also the sides aren't very high here. You can see that this is only about 20 mil, 25 mil above the ramp surface, which means that it's great for anything that's got low clearance underneath it. And remembering with the mini excavator is you've got the blade at the front, which is quite low. And these ramps, when I looked at quite a few options and brands and so forth, and these ones worked out to be the best. Now what I've got to do is, once I take a couple of measurements, I actually just have to put a couple of holes in my trailer here, because the ramps do come with these pins, and once you get the trailer, the ramps in the right position on the trailer, you put a hole through there, and then you can put these pins down, and that actually locks the ramp in place. Because what you don't want to do, obviously, when you're loading any machinery on that's powered, the drive is going this way, and what that's doing is it's trying to pull those ramps backwards. And if you're on a very smooth surface, this would probably be okay being on grass, but if you're on concrete, something like that, you may get halfway up the ramp and then this slips off the end here and the ramp falls down and could cause an accident. So that's why I'm going to get these pins and put them in to the right position to make sure that these are nice and secure. Just going to measure from the middle of the track to the middle of the track here, and it's 730 millimeters to the center where the drive sprocket is. So if I take that measurement and have my ramps centered at the same amount, so I'll measure from my center holes here, and I'll get that at 720 as well. Now I know that the width of the tracks is 920, so yeah, that's fine. I've got a heap of room either side, on the inside of the ramp and the outside of the ramp, to put my machine on. Okay, so I'll just put a little mark in here and put a hole through here to get our pins in. Okay, we'll see how strong this Chinese steel is. I'll just put my hand underneath, because there is a wiring cable underneath to get it out of the way. Okay. Well, I think I'm in a position now to try and back the excavator on. So I've spun the house around. The blade is still at the front, and yeah, I'm going to go up this way. I think I've put the boom down a little bit and the stick straight up and down here. I want to use this as a bit of a, I don't know, like a skid foot type thing. So if the excavator, as it goes up the ramps, if it wants to slowly sort of tip forward for whatever reason, I've got this as a stop to sort of tipping it forward. I think it's better going up this way, because if I was going up facing forward, there'd be nothing behind the digger, and if for whatever reason, and I don't think it would, but if it sort of started to flip backwards, then there's nothing really behind it to save me. So yeah, okay, let's start her up and we'll give this a try. Okay, well, all that went pretty well. The ramp stayed in place and the pins didn't move, and I've put the excavator in and it is facing backwards, if that makes sense. I think this is the right way to do it because I have taken the mini excavator on and off a couple of times, and what I've noticed is when you get to these ramps, although it is a slight grade downhill, the digger does tend to start to run away from itself because there's no brakes, remember, on these things. So if you are on a slope or coming down a slope, you'll get to a point where the thing just takes off and it will just keep going faster and faster because you can't really slow it down. So having the stick and the bucket here is really good because as you come down the ramps here, you can drop the bucket down so it just slides along the ground, and if you need to slow down or stop, you can just drop the stick down a little bit more and the machine slows down. So I certainly think that that is the way that I will load in future, facing that direction. Now, just looking at it sitting in the trailer here, it's not right in the middle, it's towards the front. This is the center line axle is here, and you can see I've got that much towards the front of the trailer. It's not right at the front, I've left a bit of room there, and I was trying to work out how much weight do I now have on the tow ball of the tow vehicle, and I came up with this procedure, if you like, where while the trailer was empty, I stood on the tow ball and measured the distance from the ground to the tow ball, and then when I put the excavator on and now the weight's on the trailer and on the tow ball, I measured it again and the distance was exactly the same. So in theory, I'm calculating that the weight on the tow ball is the same weight as what I am, and I weigh 100 kilos, so I think I've got 100 kilos of weight now sitting on my tow ball there. I could probably have a little bit more, but what I could do is at the front here in the trailer, I could put in some of my extra buckets and the stick rake and things like that, and that will give me another sort of 50 or 60 kilos, something like that at the front. So I think that's all worked out pretty well. I've got a heap of room in there, and I'll now go and get my straps and work out the best way to secure it. These are the tie-down straps that I bought. Actually bought these at Aldi supermarket. They had a 4-drive special on some months ago and I bought these. So looking at the front cover here, it says they're 38mm by 4 meters, polyester webbing, 1,000 kilograms lashing capacity, ideal for use when securing loads on trailers, utilities and so forth. So this is what they look like. They're quite a wide strap. This is the ratchet assembly here and hooks. I don't like these hooks here. I'd rather have something a bit like a, I don't know, a proper hook. Is that not a proper hook? I've had these on other tie down things and they've come off, but anyway. So I've got 2 of those, and yeah, I'll try and put those on first and see what the best way to put those straps on. Okay, well, this is my first attempt here. I've got a strap running to the back of this roof support and then around there, across around there and back to there. So that strap is pulling the machine towards the front of the trailer, and then down here I've got another strap that's here that goes around those uprights of the roof support, around there, across there and down, and those straps are pulling the machine back this way. So I've got one set of straps pulling the machine this way and this set of straps pulling that way. So tell me in the comments, if you transport machinery, would that be good enough for this 1.2 ton machine to latch it down that way, or do I need to concentrate on the undercarriage under there somewhere? Do I need to put straps there somewhere as well? Now I may have to put some, I don't know, what would you put there? Would you put cloth around there or something? Because I think if that moves around for 1,000 kilometers, it's going to actually wear that paint off around there. I suppose it's not the end of the world, but maybe I could put something in there to stop it rubbing. The other thing I think I'll do is I think I'll pull this boom arm straight upright, because the problem with these Chinese machines are they don't have lockouts on the hydraulics, which means when the machine is turned off, you can still, for example, if I went up here and pushed this forward, this arm and the boom drops down. And I'm pretty sure like that's a safety risk, and I thought the machines we had in Australia, you couldn't have that happen, that it had to have some sort of lock on the hydraulic system, so you couldn't operate it like that. I mean, if kids were playing on this, for example, and there was another kid under here or something, and you know, you did that, then you can't lift it up. If I go back now on this, it doesn't come back up without the engine running. So I think what I'll do is maybe bring the boom up upright. I can probably do this now actually if I start it up again. And cool. Off again. Oh. Okay, I think now what I will do is put a strap maybe around here, around this boom, and tie it back to there, because I think, you know, if you're driving for maybe 10 or 12 hours, this would tend to want to slowly slip down. And the problem is here is I've got the ram at the back here, and if that tilted forward with the gate closed, the top of the gate could actually start rubbing against this chrome, which means that it's history then. I'll just close the gate and I'll show you. So if this gate was closed like that, now if this arm dropped down and tilted forward and got to the stage where this was rubbing on here, then that would destroy that really quickly. So I think what I'll do is I'll get another tie maybe, and tie from here around the boom and then back so that arm can't come forward. But is that enough? I haven't done this before. I haven't transported a digger, so I'm not too sure. Is that going to be enough to hold it in place? I don't know. What do you think? Do you reckon that'll be enough to keep that boom upright? What I might do is just leave it like this set up here and just do a few laps of the block and go for a bit of a drive and just see if I come back whether it's moved at all. I'm sort of thinking it's going to be okay. Obviously I have to take the key out. I might have to take the mats off as well, in case the wind gets under the mats. I might blow the mats off. Other than that, I think I should be okay. Well, all that went pretty well. I've just done probably about a 20-25 minute loop around from where my house is. I've actually stopped a couple of times to check the straps, and the straps have actually been loose, and I think that's what I'm going to have to sort of be aware of, is just to stop, you know, once every hour or so and just check the straps. But I've tightened them up, and from then it seems to be okay. It's towed quite well. It's not that different from towing a car on a car trailer. It's about the same sort of weight, and I've done that lots of times. It's not that different from towing a caravan, which I've done lots of times as well. So it's all pretty stable. The weight on the tow ball feels fine. I got up to about 100 kilometers an hour, which is 60 miles an hour, out on a fast section of road, and there was no sway or movement in the trailer. It's nice and rock steady, so I think it's okay. But the idea of doing this video now is I'm going to put it up, and I've got about a week before I head off on my big trip. So if you do see anything that you think I should correct, or see something that I've done wrong, then let me know in the comments, because I've got about a week or so to read them before I head off, and I'd rather be safer than sorry and do the 1,000-kilometer trip without any dramas. Okay, well, I've just returned home after about half an hour out on the road. Just check these straps again. And they're pretty good. I can maybe go one click more, which I can easily enough do. Not too sure with these yellow straps. Do these yellow straps actually stretch, these nylon straps, when they're new? Do they stretch and you have to keep tightening them? But anyway, I think it's all okay. I don't think the Mini Excavator has actually moved in the trailer. I was going to put some marks in there, but I didn't, of course. But it all looks to be in the same spot. I think it's still sitting in the middle of the trailer. Yep, all that's fine. The boom arm hasn't come down. Let's have a look at the trailer. Trailer looks to be good. See, it's got a bit of a tilt down to the front, which I think is right. The only thing I do notice is when you look at photographs of the proper, what do they call them, plant trailers, are they, that are used to transport these. Normally these mini diggers are faced around the other way, and they have the boom and the stick right across onto the tow bar here. But I think the main thing is just about how much weight I've got on the tow ball, and I'm pretty sure it's about right. I'm just looking at the vehicle here side on, and it doesn't look like the back is sinking down. It doesn't look like the front is lifting up. So I think my weight is pretty good. Righto. Well, if you've seen anything along the way that you think is untoward or I should correct, then please let me know in the comments below. I'm willing to take on all sorts of tips and criticism of what I should do, because I want to stay safe. It is 1,000 kilometers, so it is a long journey, and I want to make sure I get there in one piece. Okay, that's today's video. I do appreciate everybody sticking around to the end and watching the video. Thank you as always for your support on the channel. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.